Okay, I think we have it. Hello, Pam. How are you this morning? Oh, I had to have a drink of coffee. Check out, I guess I can't show you. I just purchased the new Tim Hortons mug, and it is a gorgeous red with a maple leaf on the front. And I love it. Okay, you're good. That's good. Good. We're just a couple minutes early here, so we're just going to hang on for a moment or two until 10:30 and give others a chance to jump on and say hello. I see we have a few people here in the background who aren't saying hello. They're shy. All right. We are going to have some fun this morning, ladies. I have the Mosaic technique for you today. It is fabulous, and I have come up with something to put my own spin on it as well. It was just kind of like one of those aha moments. Hello, Carol. Good morning. Glad you could join us. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun this morning, and we're gonna do the Mosaic technique with a twist. All right, we are going to get started. Good morning, Louise. Glad you could join us. Hey, it's Shel Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com. I can be reached by email anytime at andersonshell@gmail.com. Welcome this morning. We are going to have some fun. But before we get started, we are going to be doing our tip of the day. Today's tip of the day is when you get Miss Molly, you are a pain in the butt. Get in your bed. When you get designer series paper, make a sample sheet and put it in a binder. And this is what I mean. It is much easier to find a sheet of designer series paper by flipping through your book like this than it is to pull out all those packages of paper and try to find what you're looking for. I do mine in 2-inch squares. You can do it however you like. I find 2 inches is a good size to give me a good view of the paper. So that's my tip for today. And yes, Miss Molly is being a pain in the butt today, so she's probably going to be in the thick of things, but we'll get around that. Okay, so I'm going to pull out some supplies here, and we're going to get started. Now, this is Saturday, so this is my version of what inspired me this week. And what inspired me is the Mosaic technique. Now, most of you know about the scrappy strip technique. That's where you take little wedge pieces of cardstock from your scrap bin, little wedges like so, okay? And you glue them to the front of your card. Well, this Mosaic technique is a twist on that, and then I'm putting a different twist on that even, okay? So we are going to be using a new stamp set this morning, and unfortunately it is only a greeting set, but that should not deter your enthusiasm for this class today. This is going to be a gorgeous card. We're also going to be using the stitched star dies, and those are in the annual catalog. And we're going to be using an embossing folder, and I don't know whether I'm going to use the dainty diamonds or the hammered metal. Haven't quite decided yet. I just pulled two. And for embellishments, I chose the wonderful gems from the holiday catalog. These are real red and clear dots that have gold flecks in them. Okay, so we're going to be using some of those. And then I pulled in an assortment of different blue turquoise cardstocks. And I also pulled in a sheet of gold foil. I know that's probably very hard on your eyes. And as you can see, I have another one of these containers. And I keep my strips in here. So whenever I want to make a card, I have strips ready to go. And I'm telling you, once you guys get started on this strip technique and the mosaic technique, you're not going to want to stop. It is so addictive. It is crazy. Okay. Hey, Angela. Glad you could join us. So, ladies, what you're going to do is you are just going to put your cardstock in your paper trimmer. As you can see, I have a little bit of glue residue on the inside of my paper trimmer from a card that I made this morning. And basically what you're going to do is just cut yourself some strips. They can be differing widths. There is no rules. So I am just going to cut 2 of each of these, because we're not going to need any more than that today. And like I said, you can take them out of your scrap bin. These are obviously quarter sheets. These came out of my quarter sheet bin. Oh, jumped out of the tracks. There we go. Here comes trouble once again. Get in your bed. There you go. She had her bed underneath my desk and she would not stay in it. So this morning I put her bed on my desk and she stayed in it for an hour and a half, but apparently not so much right now. She may have to get evicted and go see Daddy if she doesn't behave herself. All right. So I just went and chose different blues and turquoises. And we are just cutting little pie-shaped wedges. You're going to get your fingers caught. No, you can't have those. Sorry. Now for the gold. This is probably going to be hard on your eyes, but I apologize for that. And I might take another little wedge of this one. All right, there we have it. A whole bunch of strips. Go see your father. There you go. Okay, so now we are going to pull out our supplies. And we have a Poppy Parade card base, standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have a black card mat that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a chunk of Bermuda Bay. We're going to use that as well. And I have 2 squares that are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 of basic black. So, if I can find my silicone mat, we will get started. And I highly recommend that you use your silicone mat because this is going to be a little bit messy. So what we're going to do is we are just going to take our adhesive, and you want to be generous with your adhesive, but you don't want it to come out. What I mean is you want to make sure that all areas of this has glue on it, because we're going to be doing a lot of things today with these layers. Okay, so basically you just alternate. You put a fat piece on one end, and then the next strip you put the fattest end on, just leaving a little space so that the black shows through, and try to keep, as you can see, the glue on the foil shows, and you're going to have inky fingers here for sure. That one's a little fat for that area. So this portion of what I'm doing is called the scrappy strip technique, and this was designed by a demonstrator, a supporting demonstrator, actually the husband of a demonstrator in Australia, Bruno Bertucci, and he got his inspiration from a painting, if you can believe that. So he saw a painting and came up with this idea for making a card. So the initial idea was his, and then the mosaic technique, I don't know who came up with that, because it's just all over the place on the internet. So yeah, somebody gets an idea and it just takes off from there, which is so wonderful. So I saw the mosaic. I've done the scrappy strip before. I've seen the mosaic. That was my inspiration for this week. And then I had an aha moment and went, oh my stars, why can't I do this? So I tried it last night and it worked. So this is going to be so fun. You guys are going to be amazed. All right. So now what color do I need? How about this one? Like I said, make sure you have good coverage with your glue. Because we're going to get this together and then we're going to cut it up, if you can believe that. All right, I think we've got everyone on there. Let's do another gold one. There's no rules for this. You guys can do this in 2 colors. You can do it in 10 colors. Just like that. All right. So these strips are extras. These can all go back into my container for the next time I make a card. And I wish you could see my cat. She's in her bed on my desk and she's watching me on the computer monitor. It's so funny. Okay, so we'll just set that aside for now. Here is our mess, okay? We're going to bring in our paper trimmer. And this is how my paper trimmer got so goopy. And we're going to trim off the excess. Thank goodness for alcohol wipes to clean this off after. And we will flip this around. I wish you could see my cat. It's so cute. All right. Oh, I still have a little bit more. I didn't get that quite even. Okay, there we go. I'm just taking my scissors. There's a little edge. All right. Okay, so here is our piece. Now you could take this piece, you could mat it up, and you could put this on a card and it would be beautiful, okay? But that's not what we're going for. That's the scrappy strip technique. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this down into strips this way. What is she doing? She's ruining her card. So I am actually going to do different size strips. Some are going to be 1/4 of an inch. Some are going to be 1/2 an inch. No rules, right? There's a 1/2. There's a 1/2. We'll do another 1/4. Another 1/2. Whoops, skip the track. And another 1/4. And I think I have enough. I do, for one of each. All right. So, you with me so far? All right. Now, we are going to find my silicone mat again. I seem to, oh, here it is. All right, we're going to bring in the second square in basic black. And now we are going to glue these strips onto this piece of paper. And yes, this card is a bit of work, but it's so beautiful when you're done. Like, really beautiful. So basically you just glue them on and try to keep the space between each of your pieces as even as you can. You can make them any width that you want in between, but try to keep the pieces even. And now you see why I told you that you needed to have lots of adhesive on your first piece. And that's because we were cutting them up. All right. And what I've done is, because I had the Pacific point here, I flipped it so that it makes it wonky. And so the different size strips that we've used, the different widths that I've cut it in, is going to make this mosaic pattern beautiful. And I'm alternating a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch piece. And just gluing these on. Good morning, Darlene. Glad you could join us. Miss Molly, you're going to have to get back in your bed. You're not going to play with those. Come on. Back here. All right, on we go. Isn't that pretty? I love this technique. But we're not done. We have something else. I put a twist on this. Persistent this morning. Go see Dad. All right. The next one that I'm going to try is I'm going to use some silver foil. I use gold for this one and it's beautiful, but I am going to try it in silver. I think that this would be very pretty, this technique with silver foil and the lighter blues only, like maybe the Misty Moonlight, the Seaside Spray, balmy blue, and silver. I think that would be really pretty, and then die cut a snowflake to put on the front. Wouldn't that be something? That's my next idea. We'll see how that works out. All right. Oops, I got pop-ups happening here and I can't see my comments. Let me fix that. Yes, Darlene, I agree. I think silver will be pretty. We'll give it a try. All right. So there, in that sharp. So you saw the scrappy strip. Now you see the mosaic. And by looking at this, you can see how, because I repeated my colors in my original strips when I glued them on the first time, you can see the repetitive pattern, like how this all goes through here. However, if you put all different colored strips, you wouldn't have that. Okay. So now we've done the scrappy strip. This is the mosaic. This is step 2. Now we are going to do my idea. And we are going to bring in the stitched star dies. And we are going to die cut, not that one, a star out of this. Now this is not going to be an easy feat because there are 3 layers of cardstock here. So we may have to run this through multiple times. And I'm also going to die cut, or maybe I am. Not out of that piece, I'm not. I guess I need a bigger piece. Find one that'll work. That one's too small too. Let's go over here. See what I got. Everything's just a little bit too small. So we will pull out, what color do I want? I think I want Pacific Point. All right, I have room there for sure. All right, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way for a minute and bring in the Big Boss, because those dies will not fit in my Baby Boss. And I need some plates. All right. A base plate. My magnetic plate. Oops. My magnetic plate. And let's, just for fun, add this one here because I have the room. And I'm going to grab some scissors and cut off the excess. There we go. All right. So these pieces here, this big star is, oops, I need another plate. There it is. These pieces here are actually going to act as a matte layer for, well, good day. Let's try this one more time. Oh, I know what I'm missing. I'm missing my shim. Well. That might work a little better. There we go. These layers are going to act as matte layers for the star that I'm going to die cut from the mosaic layer we just created. All right, so I'll put those there. Turn this back around and we will get it set up for this layer. Now this is going to be a tough cut because we have 3 layers that we're cutting through, and I think I have room on here for this one. So we're going to run this through a couple of times and maybe more. As you can see, it is a tight cut. Hopefully that would have done it. Let's see. No, it's not cut through. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this and pull in, where did I put it? My second plate. Let's see if this will give it a little more pressure. Have a look. And as you can see, it's cut through the first 2 layers, but not the second layer. But that's not going to be a problem. And I'll tell you why. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. This happened when I did my first card. So I anticipated that this was what was going to happen. So if you see here, we're cut through the first 2 layers. I'm just going to bring in my snips and I am going to just cut along that line. It's just that there is so many layers. Like we've got 2 layers of glue and 3 layers of cardstock in here. Almost seems a sin to be cutting this up, right? So it's very simple to cut along that line. And maybe this is why nobody's ever done a video on this or had this idea to actually cut up the mosaic panel into a shape, is because there are so many layers and the dies don't work 100%, but you know me, that doesn't stop me. As you can see, it is super simple to just snip out that star, and look how beautiful that star is. Isn't that cool? Now I have a baby one down here, and I don't need this guy, but because there was room on the panel, I wasn't going to throw it out. What do you think? You like it so far? Yes, it's work, but it's so fun. I love this technique. So basically, you guys are getting a 3 for today. 3 different techniques in one day. The scrappy strip, which any of my girls have already learned. We did that a while back. The mosaic. And now I'm calling this the die cut mosaic. Okay. So we're going to take this and we are going to mat that just to make it pop. And make sure your adhesive goes all the way to the points of the stars, because this is going to be 4 layers that we have glued together. This is almost a 3D project, huh? And just lay that in between the stitched layers and give it a press. How pretty is that? All right. Now these two are the same size. So now we are down to our card base and our not cut right mat. This is supposed to be 4 by 5 1/4. So 4 by 5 1/4. You like that, do you, Carol? Yeah, it was just kind of an aha moment for me. It was like a light bulb went off. All right, so I think I am going to try the dainty diamonds, because I'm going to be honest, I already tried the hammered metal and I loved it, but you don't know what something's going to look like till you try it. So this is the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder from the annual catalog, and we are going to give this one a whirl today. Just getting it lined up. And I am going to bring my plates back in. Oops, I need a base plate. All right. No, wrong plate. I guess we need this plate. I will learn this new machine yet, I promise. I'm just so used to the Big Shot that it's a learning curve for all of us. I love the fact that this new machine is so much lighter and so much more compact and so much easier to crank. Ooh, look at this. Check out all that gorgeous texture. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so I am going to put this flat down on the card because we have so very many layers already. So I am just going to put my Tombow on here, making sure I get up in my corners. And we are going to lay this onto this gorgeous Poppy Parade card base. All right. And now we will bring this in here. Check that out. Isn't that gorgeous? And I have a couple of extras. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. And then I made this greeting before, and I stamped that from the new stamp set in the new catalog. This is the You Are Amazing stamp set. This will be available on January the 4th. This is a standalone stamp set, but it also coordinates with a gorgeous card kit. So you're going to want to check that out. That's on the front couple of pages of your catalog. So I am going to bring in some dimensionals. This is going to be a thick card, but you know me and dimensionals. I love my dimensionals, and I'm going to do it on here too. Whoever receives this card will feel special because it's so thick. They'll be thinking they're getting a big wad of money or something. Okay, I'm going to be putting the greeting on the bottom first. And I love how bright and colorful this is. And then I'm going to just lay these stars out here. I think I'll keep this star for the inside. What do you think? Do I put the Mosaic one on there? Or do I put the plain one? What do you think, ladies? Mosaic or plain? Put your comment in and tell me your choice while I have a sip of coffee. What will it be? Mosaic or plain? Plain one. All right, Louise was the first to answer, so Louise is the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, let's pop these babies off. And I'll put the Mosaic one on the inside of the card. All right, something like that. And then this little guy here. And because I can, I'm going to sparkle this one up because he has no gold or anything on him. And that's just Winka Stella adding some shimmer and sparkle to that star. And speaking of sparkle, I have somewhere here some of the wonderful gems. And these are in the holiday catalog. These are real red and clear, and they've got gold sparkle in them. Now the real red ones are not going to work for this card because I've chosen Poppy for my base. It's just too much of a difference, but because we have the gold foil, I can add, and I'm just sticking these in the center of these diamond patterns. Oh, I lost one. Still stuck on here. There we go. And this one lost its dot. Holy. Let's try that one again. And Where do I want this one? Maybe right there. Okay, now I will bring in my other cards and show you the other ones. So this is the one we made today with the die cut mosaic technique. Here's the one that I made last night. And this one has the hammered metal embossing folder. Isn't that pretty? And there's one with the dainty diamonds. And I also made just the mosaic technique. And I used that same stamp set, the You Are Amazing. I stamped the word bubble in Pool Party, which is this color. Then I stamped the greeting in Pacific Point. I fussy cut that out and I matted it on a piece of the Bermuda Bay. Isn't that pretty? And then my extras, I just put a little strip of the extra leftovers on the inside. So there you have it, ladies. There are your 3 techniques in one. Scrappy strip, mosaic, and die cut mosaic. Now, as I was sitting here this morning, I was thinking, okay, I used a star, so you could use this for a birthday, you could use this for whatever, congratulations, whatever. But we have stitched triangles, and if I can find them right quickly here, they're right beside me. Rectangles, triangles. I was thinking, instead of a star, you could take a stitched triangle, do the same thing, and make a Christmas tree and make it into a Christmas card. Wouldn't that be cool? So I encourage you to try these techniques, share your cards with me, and I will share them, and hopefully we can get some inspired stampers happening. I thank you so very much for joining me today, and I will be back next week. We need to talk about next week before you go. Typically, I do Facebook Lives on Tuesday nights at 7, Thursday nights at 7, and Saturday mornings at 10:30. Next week is Christmas, so it's going to be different next week. Next week, I will be here Monday at 6:30 and Wednesday at 6:30. That's it for next week. So if you're coming back to join me, make sure it's Monday at 6:30 or Wednesday at 6:30. Okay? Thanks, girls. Have a great day. Bye-bye.